Okay, so finding your comfortable seat and settling in, taking a few moments. Sway forward and back, side to side, finding that place where you feel centered and balanced on your bum. Both sides of your body feeling equally heavy, equally supported. And from there, finding a nice tall spine, settling in, giving yourself space to breathe in the torso. Might take a few moments, a few deep breaths, big inhales and exhales. Even audible if that would feel good, just the settling in portion. And letting your hands rest where they feel good. And settling your feet so they feel nice and flat on the floor. Once you've set yourself up in your posture, in your nice tall spine, bum and feet stable, hands resting comfortably. And taking a few breaths here. The breaths might be a little deeper than usual or starting to gradually get a little deeper, maybe a little slower. And eyes can be either open or closed. If you find that closing your eyes helps you to stay present, then you can close your eyes. But sometimes it feels easier to stay present with the eyes open. So deciding what feels right for you this morning or this time. Just allowing your body to breathe, allowing your breath to flow in and out. You might start to bring the idea of softening different parts of your body, like the forehead, the jaw, for carrying any tension. And requesting a softness, an ease. The shoulders might soften a little bit, and the elbows be a bit heavy. You might imagine that you can feel the sit bone sinking a little more deeply into the support of the chair. Your feet allowing the earth to a little more firmly support them. We'll start to bring some gentle movement into the body. Let's start with the head as we usually do. We'll allow the chin to come down towards the chest on an exhale. An inhale to lift the chin, lifting up towards the sky. Exhaling to lower. And inhaling to lift as you're ready. Moving with the rhythm and of the breath in the body. Another round or two. When you feel about even, allowing your head to come back to center. Just pausing there for a few moments. And then we'll move the head from side to side again on an exhale. Turning the head. Inhaling back to center as you're ready. Exhaling to turn the head. And inhaling back to center. Alternating sides and moving with your breath. When you feel about even again, allow your head to come back to center. Pause, give yourself a moment to notice sensations. And then if there are any intuitive movements that you'd like to make in the neck, and giving yourself that space. It might feel nice to find a semicircle, allowing the chin to roll down towards the chest and rolling from ear to ear. It might feel good to allow the head to roll back a little bit from ear to ear, semicircle backwards. It might feel good to tip one ear to one shoulder at a time, stretching into the sides of the neck gently. Kind of allowing your body, whatever movement feels, it would do you good, that it would feel good. And when you've satisfied any of those movements, come back to center, pause again. We'll move down into the shoulders, rolling the shoulders, the most natural way first, whatever that is for you. And then switching directions, rolling the other way. Releasing the shoulders down. Let's do a few breaths with the shoulders, inhaling up the shoulders up towards the ears, and exhaling to release them down. About twice more. Releasing the shoulders, allowing them to soften or melt, all the while keeping the spine up nice and long. Just reestablishing that tall seat, crown of the head reaching upward, lengthen the spine. Letting the sit bones and feet feel heavy. Moving down into the arms a little bit. Let's reach the arms out wide. Really stretching the fingertips out to either side as though you could stretch your arms so wide you could touch the opposite walls. And then keeping the fingers or keeping the arms long, how would it feel to draw the arms into the shoulder sockets? You might feel the shoulder blades pulling together a little bit, drawing the arms back in. And then stretch them out again. It's a subtle movement, isn't it? Then drawing the shoulders or drawing the arms back into the sockets. Moving with breath. Inhaling to stretch the arms apart. Exhaling to pull the arms back into the shoulder sockets. Inhaling, stretch apart. Exhaling, draw them in. One last time, inhaling to stretch the fingertips. Exhaling to draw the arms into the shoulder sockets. And then release the shoulders, release the arms down. You might find a little wiggle in the torso. And we'll find a little bit of that similar movement, the arms forward. So this time, either palms can face forward or fingertips can face forward. We'll stretch the arms forward as though you were reaching towards the far wall. And then draw the arms back into the shoulder sockets. Arms stay straight. Reaching forward. Inhaling to draw the shoulders or arms back into the shoulders. Reaching forward. And then drawing the arms back. Last one, reaching forward. And then drawing the arms back. And then releasing the arms down. You might again shrug the shoulders a little bit. Wiggle the arms, shake out the hands. Let's find a little bit of wrist movement. Circles in the wrist. So hands can make fists or stay open. And then circles the other way. Let's move into the fingers this morning. I'll come a little closer to the camera. Let's start off with the thumbs. We'll just make big circles with the thumbs if that feels okay. As big a circle as feels okay. And then switch directions, circles the other way with the thumbs. And then release the thumbs. Let's move into the first finger. So you can, either the hands can stay open or you can make a loose fist with the rest of the fingers. You can decide which feels more natural. And we'll make circles with the first fingers. And then switch directions, circles the other way. Releasing that finger, we'll move to the middle finger, making circles with the finger. And switching directions. Releasing the middle finger, pinky finger, this one might be tricky. So either holding the rest of the fingers loosely down or just making circles with the ring finger. The other finger is sort of out of the way a little bit. Switching directions with circles. And finally, the pinky finger. Circles with the pinky finger. And switching directions. And then shaking all of the fingers out, releasing the hands. You might make a fist or stretch the fingers out a few times. And then we'll move down into reestablishing that nice tall seat, softening the fingers, long spine, crown of the head reaching up, and feeling that support beneath you, beneath your bum, beneath the feet. We'll find our twist first. So let's reach the arms out wide and then sweep right arm underneath left, bringing hands to opposite shoulders or giving yourself a hug in some capacity. Nice tall inhale. As you exhale, turn the shoulders and the torso towards the right. Then inhale back to center. And we'll go in the same direction, exhaling to the right. Inhale back to center. One more time, twisting towards the right. And inhaling back up. Releasing the arms. We'll stretch the arms out wide. And then sweeping left arm underneath right. I think I mixed up my directions already. Inhaling tall. As you give yourself a hug, we'll twist towards the other side. Inhaling forward. Exhaling to twist. Inhaling forward. Exhaling to twist. Inhaling forward. Exhaling to twist. And we'll come forward again. Release the arms. And pause. The next twist we'll do, we'll hold the twist for a few moments. So nice tall inhale in a regular seat. Arms can come back to your lap. As you exhale, turn the shoulders towards the right. And then we'll walk the hands along the leg. Right hand can come back by your hip or to the backrest. You might look over the right shoulder if that would feel okay. But breathing as deeply as feels okay. Letting the breath flow. With your next inhale, we'll unwind, coming back to center. Pausing for a moment. And finding a nice tall inhale again. Exhaling to turn towards the left. The hands can walk along your body. Left hand can come to the back of the seat of your chair if you like, or the backrest. You might look over the left shoulder. With your next inhale, we'll unwind, coming back to center. And pause, noticing sensations in the body. Let's next move into our cat-cow, or arching and rounding of the spine. Let's bring in the hands towards your knees, finding that nice tall base again. All the neutral curves of your spine are present, lots of length in the spine, crown of the head reaching out, breathing naturally. When your next exhale arrives, pulling the belly towards the spine, rounding the spine like a Halloween cat. Then when you inhale, bringing chest and belly forward, pulling shoulder blades together, gaze lifts. Exhaling to round. Inhaling to arch into cow, moving with your breath between these shapes. And the next time you feel about even, come back to a neutral spine, that nice tall seat. And pause, giving yourself a moment to notice sensations here. Moving into our side bend next. Let's start by letting the hands hang down by the chair. Both arms reaching down or hanging down, letting them be loose. When you're ready, reach the right arm up and overhead if that feels okay for shoulder. Then as you exhale, we'll tip over towards the left, letting the left arm hang down, right arm reaching up and overhead. Then we'll inhale back up. And let's sway over again, exhaling to reach over to the left. Inhaling up. Exhaling to sway over to the left. Inhaling up. And we'll release the right arm down. Pausing, noticing sensations. And then we'll switch sides. Inhaling left arm up. Letting the right arm hang down, we'll exhale over to the right, swaying over, tipping over. Inhale up. And exhale over. Inhale up. And exhale over. Inhale up. And exhale over, last time. Inhaling up. And release that arm down. We'll move with breath a little bit, swaying from side to side. With an inhale, let's sweep right arm up. And exhale over. Inhale back up. And let that arm come back down. Switching sides. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale over. Inhale up. Release the left arm down. Switching sides again. Inhale right. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left arm, inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Left arm down. One last time, we're dancing. Inhale up, right arm. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left side, inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. And release both arms down. Pause, hands can rest down by your sides or come back to your lap. Just notice sensations both in your side body and shoulders. Breathe for a few moments. And then we'll move down into the legs. Let's shift forward on the seat a little bit. Keeping your sit bones nice and stable on the chair, but also giving the legs a little more space to move. Let's bring the right knee up or foot up so the toes can stay on the ground or the foot can lift, whichever feels most comfortable today. If it feels better to have the toes on the ground, then we'll draw circles with the toes. If it feels okay to lift the foot, we'll draw a circle with the knee in the air. So 3 big circles in one direction, and then we'll switch directions. And we'll allow the right knee to, the knee to come forward. I've forgotten which side I said. Anyway, we'll keep the foot lifted. Find some ankle circles. And then switching directions. Pointing and flexing the foot a few times. Let's stretch the toes apart. And then pull the toes in, making a fist with the foot about 3 times. Stretching and squishing. Stretching and squishing. And we'll release that foot to the floor and move to the other side. Drawing the knee up, either toes can stay on the floor again, drawing big circles with the toes, or if it feels okay to lift the foot, draw big circles with the knee. About 3, the first direction. And we'll switch directions, circles the other way. Bringing the knee forward. We'll lift the foot if it's not lifted. Find some ankle circles. Switching directions when you're ready. And we'll point and flex the foot a few times. And then spread the toes apart and curl them in together. Stretching the toes and curling them in. Stretching and curling them in. And then releasing the foot to the floor. Just giving yourself a pause, noticing sensations in the body. We'll stretch into the legs a little bit before we move into our sun salutations. So holding behind you on the seat of your chair, if that feels okay, giving yourself a little bit of support. You might be leaning back slightly. And we'll stretch into one leg at a time. So we'll lift left foot forward and then bend it back to the floor. And we'll lift and straighten the right foot. And then release. We'll move with breath. Inhale while both feet are on the floor. Exhale to stretch 1 foot long. Inhale. Exhale to stretch the other foot. Moving with your breath. Releasing both feet to the floor. If it would feel okay, stretch both feet long. Breathe. And then release both feet to the floor. It might feel good to find a little bit of a forward fold here, so you might rest your forearms on your thighs, or let your fingertips trace down your shins. Then you might breathe into the belly for a moment here. If it would feel good to let the head hang down, that's an option as well, letting the neck be soft, as long as it feels okay. And we'll make our way back up to the tall seat. A little bit more leg work before we move on. Let's start with the right leg. Bring the knee up any amount. You can hold the knee with the hand if that feels okay. And then we'll draw the right knee out to the right. And then bring it back, facing forward. Inhale to draw the knee out. Exhale to release. Inhale to draw the knee out to the right. And exhale to release. This last time, let's draw the knee out to the right. And if it feels okay, pause there, breathing. You can play with letting go of the knee if that's a possibility, if that feels okay. If it's crazy, then you can continue holding the knee. But keep drawing the knee back. Rather than using your hand, see if you can use the muscles of the leg itself. And then we'll release the knee forward. And let the foot come down to the ground. You might give that outer hip a little love, a little rub. We'll switch sides. Bringing the left knee up. You can hold the knee with your hand if you like. Then we'll draw left knee out to the left. And then forward. Draw it back. And bring it forward. Draw it back. And forward. And this last time we'll hold it. So drawing the knee back into the left. If it would feel okay, you might let go of the knee, holding the leg with its own muscular support. Keep drawing the knee back, using the leg rather than the power of your hand. Breathing. And then we'll bring the knee forward again, release the foot to the floor. You might give that side of your body a little love as well. Give yourself a couple of in-between breaths before we move on. And then setting yourself up for seated sun salutations. So this week I've been in my own practice working a little bit on poses that help digestion, and most of them squish the abdomen. So if you're interested in that aspect of this forward fold, then you might leave your legs more narrow, and then you'll have that compression between belly and thighs, which is said to aid digestion. If that's not a good feeling and you'd rather not find that compression, widen the legs, give yourself space, let the torso come through. So deciding on your variation for legs. And wherever you are, just lining up the ankles more or less underneath the knees. And find your tall seat again, settling the sit bones down, lifting the crown of the head, nice tall spine, soft shoulders if that feels okay. And then we'll move through our sun salutations. Inhaling the arms up as high as feels okay for shoulders. And exhaling the hands back down to thighs. Inhaling to arch the back, bringing chest and belly forward, lifting the gaze. And exhaling to round the spine, Halloween cat shape, shoulder blades spread apart, belly pulls towards the spine. Inhaling back to a tall neutral spine, softening the shoulders. Exhale to fold forward. With an inhale, the right arm sweeps up into a twist, or the hand can come to the waist, elbow twisting. Then exhale back down. Inhale, left arm up into a twist, or hand to the waist, elbow twists. And exhale to release. Come all the way back to seated on your next inhale, arms sweep up. Release hands either down to your sides or to your thighs. Pause for a breath. Move through that twice more. Inhaling, sweeping arms up. Exhaling to release. Inhaling to arch the spine, chest and belly forward, gaze limits. Exhaling to round, Halloween cat shape. Inhale back, tall neutral spine, shoulders soften. Exhale to fold. With an inhale, sweeping the right arm up into a twist. And exhaling, right arm down. Inhaling, left arm up into a twist. And exhaling, left arm down. All the way back to your tall seat on the inhale, arms sweep up. Releasing hands. Pausing. Breathing. Last time through with an inhale, sweeping arms up. And exhaling down. Arching the back on the inhale, chest and belly forward, gaze lifts. Exhaling to round the spine, belly towards the back of the chair. Inhale back to neutral, soften the shoulders. Exhale to fold. Inhaling into your twist, right arm lift or elbow lifts. Exhale back down. Inhale, left arm or elbow up. Exhale, back down. Inhaling all the way back to your tall feet, arms sweep up. Releasing hands down. Give yourself a moment, a pause. Before we come to standing, we'll try a seated variation of a pose that we'll do standing. And it does involve those outer hip muscles that we started working with when we drew the knee out to the side. So widen your legs, as wide as feels okay, a sustainable width, nothing that you're sitting in discomfort. We'll leave the right foot where it is, bent, and imagine drawing that knee a little further back to the right without forcing. You're using the muscular control of your leg, hopefully getting into the upper kind of outer hip area. So drawing right knee back. And let's stretch the left leg out long so the toes can face forward or they can be at a bit of an angle, but stretching the left leg out as straight as feels okay. And we'll reach the arms out wide. So here we are in a seated variation of Warrior Two. Hips are facing forward, legs are wide, one knee bent, one leg straight. And let's turn this into a bit of a side bend. We'll bring right forearm to right thigh, the bent leg. And then the left arm can either come to your waist, elbow drawing back, or if it feels okay, you might sweep that arm up and alongside your ear, palm facing the floor, stretching from the outside edge of your left foot all the way to your left fingertips. Then we'll come back up. Find that Warrior Two shape, arms spread wide. Then release the arms. Bring the knees into a bent position again. Legs are still wide, but you might wiggle them a little bit of softness in the hips. And then we'll set up again. Knees nice and wide, both are bent to begin. This time we'll leave the left knee bent and we'll stretch out the right leg. Toes can face forward or be on a bit of an angle, but stretching the leg out as straight as feels okay. The left knee remains bent and drawing the left knee back to the left. Finding our arms, Warrior Two shape, nice wide T-shaped arms. Breathing. And we'll turn this into a side angle or side stretch on this side. Left forearm comes to the left knee. It could be the left hand as well. And the right hand can come to the waist, drawing the elbow back. Or if it feels okay for shoulder, we might sweep that right arm up and alongside the ear so that the palm faces the floor. Long line of stretch from the outside edge of the right foot to the right fingertips. And we'll come all the way back, finding your Warrior Two arms. And then release the arms. We'll bring the feet back in. Allow the feet and knees to come a little more narrow. You might wiggle from side to side a little bit, releasing any tension. And then we'll come all the way up to standing and we'll find similar poses standing. So let's use the backrest of the chair. I'll have it on my left side first. And then we'll step the feet wide as you can while feeling stable. And we'll come up onto the left heel, turn the left leg so that the left toes point as much towards the chair as feels okay for the hip. And we'll bend into the left. So keeping that alignment, knee wants to be over the ankle in line with the middle toes, if that feels okay. You can kind of play with the bend in the knee. If the knee needs a bit of a more shallow bend, that's okay too. But keeping the knee in line with the middle toes, keeping that alignment. And we might find our Warrior Two arms. So one hand can always stay on the chair. If it feels okay and you feel stable enough, then both might reach out wide. Then to find our side angle, we've got options for the left hand. The left hand could come to the back rest of the chair, or the hand could come to the knee or thigh. The other option would be the forearm to come to the backrest of the chair, or forearm to the thigh. So you can decide where you want to be, what depth feels good. Right hand can come to the waist, drawing the elbow back, keeping the chest broad. Or right arm can sweep alongside the ear, palm facing the floor again, finding that long line of stretch, that almost side bend. Side stretch, definitely, from the outside edge of your right foot all the way to your right fingertips. Then we'll come all the way up again. Just find that warrior two shape first, either one hand on the chair or both arms wide. And then we'll release the knee, turn the toes forward, and walk the feet back together. A little wiggle in between, that would feel good. Any shimmying that would feel right. And we'll switch sides. Chair comes to the right side. Stepping the feet wide. As wide again as feels stable. And then once you've got your stance, your width set up, we'll come up onto the heel of the right foot and turn the leg so that the toes point as much towards the chair as feels okay. Bending into the right knee, keeping the knee in line with the middle toes. Knee can be as bent or sort of as deeply bent or as shallowly bent as feels okay. Deciding on your depth. And then we'll find our warrior two first. Arms wide, one can stay on the chair, or if you're feeling really stable, both can stretch out wide. And finding our side angle from here. Right hand can either come to the backrest of the chair or to the knee or thigh. Or, the forearm can come to the backrest of the chair or forearm to the thigh. The left hand can come either to the waist, drawing the elbow back, or if it feels okay, sweeping the left arm alongside the ear, palm facing the floor. Finding that long line of stretch from the outside edge of the left foot all the way to the left fingertips. And breathing. And let's come all the way back to our warrior two. Arms stretch wide. One can always be on the chair. And then we'll release the feet, bring the feet forward, step the feet back together. And finding any shimmying or wiggling that would feel good. Releasing. Moving into our balance. We'll keep the chair on the right side. You can do this from seated as well. We'll be working into that same area. If you're balancing, we'll stand on the right foot and lift the left knee. If you're on the chair, left knee can lift. Using your left hand, you can guide the left knee out to the side, drawing that knee back. Seeing if you can use more muscular support than hand support. And then if it would feel okay and you're balancing, you might play with the balance. That might be crazy. Maybe lightening the support of your hand if that feels all right. Remembering to breathe. And we'll bring the knee forward again. Stretch it out, lift it as high as you can before releasing to the ground. Finding any movements, little release in between. If you're standing, we'll move the chair to the left side. Standing on the left this time. If you're in the chair or standing, we'll lift right knee forward. And you can use your hand to guide the right knee out to the right. If you're balancing, then you can play with the support getting a little bit lighter. Hand on the chair might get just a little lighter. Remembering to breathe. Seeing if you can draw that right knee back with the muscles of the leg itself rather than the hand. Keep breathing. And we'll bring the knee forward. Stretch the leg out, lift as high as you can. And release the foot to the floor. Finding any movement or shimmying that would feel good. Little love for the outer thighs or outer hips. From here, let's find a downward dog using the backrest of the chair. If you're seated, you can fold forward like we did earlier, either resting your forearms on your thighs or reaching down your shins and resting your belly on your thighs. If you're coming into the standing variation, hands can stay on the backrest of the chair, walking the feet back. Stretching the tailbone in one direction, crown of the head in the other. Knees can be bent. Feet can be as wide as you like. Finding space, finding traction in the back, of the spine, all the way along the spine. Spending a few breaths in the fold or in the downward dog. And then making your way back up when you're ready. Pausing for a moment as you arrive in standing, maybe finding a very balanced, stable standing position on both feet, or coming back to a tall seat if you're seated. Just kind of rebalancing, letting both sides of your body be equally supported again, finding that tall strength. From here, deciding if there's any other movement that your body would like to make before we settle into a resting pose. So any last movements or stretches or shapes that you feel like making, last wiggles or movements, and allowing yourself that freedom. Whatever it is, and we'll make our way back to seated. As you settle back into your seat, if it would feel good to maintain that tall seated position as we close, then you could find that a little bit away from the backrest. If it would feel better to let your body soften into the chair, resting against the backrest, that's okay too. Deciding which variation feels better in this moment. And then allowing your awareness to come back to your breath. Allowing the hands to rest where they're comfortable again. Deciding whether you can feel more present with eyes open or closed. And allowing your body to breathe for the next few moments. Just being here with your body, allowing your breath to flow through you. And as we move to close practice, your hands can rest exactly where they are if they feel good there. Or you might bring your hands over your heart or into a prayer position. Anything that feels right. Sending gratitude to yourself first for making the time to move and breathe and for honoring your body and your breath. With gratitude for allowing me to guide you through practice today. And with gratitude to all the students and teachers who have come before us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. Thank you for being here.